Whenever men and women are condemned to live in poverty, human rights are violated.
To come together to ensure that these rights are respected is our solemn duty.
Elaine, how would you explain in a few words the project we're starting together?
I think it's about people, Europeans, fellow Europeans coming together that know something of what it's like to live on the margins or to be excluded in some way from society. Hopefully coming up with some clarity or thoughts or ideas about progressing something into the future at a European level that would affect other European countries, apart from Poland and Spain and Ireland, that are on the margins as well. Good participation means a lot of things, but in the European context, I think it means trying as citizens to take the structures that are there, they're complicated, to take the policies and the bureaucracies that are there and trying to understand them and make them work for people. So whether that's pushing the social side of Europe or collective complaint, that we use what's there to our benefit. And the big issue is trying to understand those structures, but I think we can. We've already achieved that in this participatory project.
There needs to be more support in areas, youth centres, you know, where when there's nothing, you're just hanging around street corners.
But I think with our experience with addiction or whatever we've been through, we can really help young people and say, not from a, oh, this is what you should do, but you know, this is what happened to me, to tell our story in an honest way. And you can really help people avoid the fuck-ups that we, do you know, or the shorter way out of this, or a better way, or, you know, because we have learned through our journey.
There's no actual centre that's radiating out into the community, positives, recovery. Look at this, informing people about their rights, putting them in place, equipping them, and allowing them to speak with authority on these issues, because a lot of people go in and they're overwhelmed when they're faced with authority, you know, and they get started hit with terminology.
The whole idea of people, even in the health system, to actually know how to make a complaint procedure and how to go about that, whether it be an opiate treatment centre, maybe be a GP or the hospital, you know, that there's a complaint procedure there and that everybody can take it.
I'll push myself and do it. I feel very passionate about this, you know, because I had a peer walker, you know, and as a peer walker, bringing someone to a hospital, you know, and being told that you have to go here and you have to go there and you have to go here and you have to go there. It might be your blood, it could be this, it could be that, you know, I'm not being listened to.
So our access to treatment has been cut by half. It's a huge problem, particularly stabilisation.
Our health is our responsibility, but it's our doctor's responsibility too. If we go to them, they tar us all with the same brush. Once you're on methadone, you're a lowlife.
You know, like, for the likes of a drug user or an alcoholic or something like that, they'd be going to these doctors and they'd be, yeah, right, it's over there, yeah. Oh, you have that wrong with you. They don't even deal with you, you know what I mean? Yeah, you have that wrong. Yeah, there's a script, you're an addict, you'd be delighted with this script. Do you know what I mean, like? And they just try that, you know, but the hospital.
It's also difficult to be responsible when you fear to meet the professionals in the health service. Some people are too scared to go to a doctor and some people don't want to go because they don't want the medication.
It is difficult to be responsible for your health when you don't have a sense of security in your life. When I felt more secure, I took time to manage my health.
Most of my life I've never really cooked for myself because I spent a lot of my years in prison, whereas being fed by the state. If I did get my own place, I probably would be going for the easy option and for the processed food, because I have no experience in cooking. If I was to go in there to the kitchen and try to cook a meal, to be honest, I wouldn't have a clue. I know I could do some cooking classes or look at YouTube videos of them.
Thank you.
saluto y de questa commissione.
It was announced we have a few speakers, but before that, it's up there. I hope everybody.
The Our Voices project.
My name's Paul, I'm part of ATD Ireland. We done this project over the course of a year. This is from a friend who was participating in one of the projects that we done in Dublin, and it's we needed to let people know, these are his words, that you are entitled to ask questions. It's your right to ask questions. You don't know until you ask. So it's about letting people know you have a right to ask and not feel stupid for asking. Another important element is how can we improve training for doctors and nurses, because there is a lot of misunderstanding and it builds up frustrations for the service users but also for the professionals. The problem is that when someone with a history of addiction, homelessness or poverty goes to a health professional, they are being treated differently. Often we come with a lot of stress and they're missing words to raise their questions or to explain situations. One of the ideas the Irish group came up with is the importance of feeling free and welcome to come to services with the support person you choose. Could professionals in health services and other services be trained to accept positively the presence of a third party, someone on the side of the patient who can act as a support? Because sometimes people are too afraid to ask questions to the doctors and to be assertive.
Thank you very much for those lovely opening remarks, and I'm going to be very brief. It's a huge honour to welcome a small and select group from Poland, from Spain and from Ireland. I was very drawn to the work you're doing and very challenged by it as well, because Europe is a very good story, but not everybody is looked after in that story. And what the message I get when I speak to you is not one of hopelessness, but one of needing people to understand what it's like to be on the margins. But I'm going to keep working in whatever way I can as Vice President of the Parliament with you, because I think awareness is the first step.
Whenever men and women are condemned to live in poverty, human rights are violated.
To come together to ensure that these rights are respected is our solemn duty.
Equality equals dignity. Everyone has to be treated equal.
I sat on a bench for a while, waiting for the light to shine. I haven't sat with myself for a long time, looking for the chance to try. I sat on a bench for a while, waiting for the light to shine. I haven't sat with myself for a long time. Love was always right. The voice should be heard. The voice should be heard. Happy is the city where citizens obey. The voice should be heard.
The voice should be heard. The mothers should be heard. Happy is the city where citizens obey. The voice should be heard. I'll eat, maybe tomorrow. Don't have a choice, can't get a job. I'm asking, please listen to me.
The voice should be heard.
Bed, have no bed. Can you help?
Where is the justice?
That's right, turn your head. I'm talking, hello? Are you listening?